Yeah, yeah. Coming up on Mental Health Marty, I'm not ready to go back to school. Let's talk about school anxiety. Stay tuned. What's up, everyone? It's me, it's Martina Sellers, your mental health hygienist, always coming to you live and in living color in Southern California, where the sun is always shining. Not only is the sun shining, y'all, we are in some triple-digit heat out here in the IE, but hope you are doing well. What's up? What's up? If I was Martin, I would say, what's up? But hey, it's good to see you. What's going on, everybody? How you feeling? So glad that you are joining us today. Let us know you're out there listening and share this with everyone. We got a real important, exciting show for you on today. Listen, Thomas, what's up? How you feeling? What's going on? Have a great show. Man, I appreciate you. Listen, can't wait to see you in a couple months there, and hope everyone is doing well. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know you're watching and where you are watching from. As always, we are so glad that you have taken the time out of your busy schedule to join us on the weekly Mental Health Marty Show. But let me just remind you what we are all about. The Mental Health Marty Show. Listen, we are a psychoeducational show, and our purpose is to empower you with information so that you're helping and having a great time in your journey to mental health and wellness. I got a little tongue-tied there. So listen, we are not a substitute for you seeing your therapist. We are not a substitute for you seeing your psychiatrist, your psychologist, your doctor, your life coach, your pastor, your mate, your spouse, whatever, your significant other, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, none of that. But we are simply a tool to help you out in your toolbox of coping skills. That's the word I'm looking for in your mental health and wellness journey. However, if you're experiencing any type of mental crisis, psychological crisis, we want you to definitely go to your nearest urgent care or dial 911 so that you can get the proper health and care that you need, because we are all about health and wellness on this show. Now, how do you engage with us? I am so glad that you asked that question. All engagement for us to see your responses and your questions, because we love audience participation, but we need you to go over to the Mental Health Marty YouTube page. Go to Mental Health Marty YouTube page. Subscribe. Show us how they subscribe, Daryl. Yes, that Mac in the back. Listen, go there, subscribe. Yes. You'll hear that wonderful bell, and that lets you know that you have subscribed to the Mental Health Marty Show. We're on every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Yes, what's going on, my boy Jeff? How you feeling? Hope all is well, man. Great having a great conversation with you this last week and everything, man. We're definitely excited about you. Miss Tanya Hill, thank you for always being such a faithful listener and follower of the Mental Health Marty Show. And I am so glad about tonight's show. Tonight, we want to talk about our theme. Listen, I'm not ready to go back. And that's what most of the students are saying. However, the parents are going, it's the most wonderful time of the year. Why? Because kids are going back to school. We get to drop them kids off. And listen, our grocery bill is going to be a lot lower. Our electric bill is going to be a lot lower. And we have that school and administration deal with them. No psych. But we got to talk about back to school anxiety. Our kids experience so much anxiety on so many levels. And school's not like what it used to be back in my day. Don't you dare date me. Yes, back in the 70s and 80s when schools were seemed to be a little bit safer. Well, yes, I'm well, good, great, great. Thank you, Jeff. But where schools seem to be a little bit safer, times have changed. We are recovering from a pandemic. We are definitely getting our kids reacclimated back from virtual learning to in-person learning. And I don't know about you. We got to talk about the school shootings. We got to talk about safety. We got to talk about how do parents talk to administrators and teachers? What are the expectations of our administrators and teachers? What are the expectations of our students? How do we lower the stress levels? Are we too concerned about testing and not so much about learning? What are we doing? Those are some of the questions I have. So if you have some questions, listen, get these parents on the line, get them in on the show tonight because we have some questions. But not only do we have questions, we have some amazing guests on here tonight. All of them are first-time guests with us, but they definitely will not be last-time guests. I'm so glad to have this beautiful young lady on here. She is my sister from another mister. She's a brilliant mind. She definitely is in the school system as an assistant principal all the way in Dallas. I am so glad to bring onto the show for the first time, but definitely not the last time, none other than future Dr. Candace Moffett.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Marty. I love you so much, man.
Love you, Donna. Listen, last week you were firing some great stuff on the show when we had Bishop Sean, Dr. Margarita, had my brother Bob on here. Listen, you were on there.
Those are my
as you were talking,
people.
ain't they our peeps? That's what I'm talking about. I said, I got to have you on the show. I apologize. It's taking me so long to get you on the show. But
listen,
future
it's all
Dr.
right.
Candace.
Thank you
Go
so
ahead.
much, man. Thank you so much for having me. Listen, I'm just too excited. I am geeked up. I'm geeked up because I'm ready to let the people know. Y'all are ready for these kids to come back to school, but we are not ready for them. Y'all are looking like Christmas in August, and we looking return to sender. They all on the naughty list, okay? We're not ready for them, man. We can be honest about that.
Jonathan, how are you, man? Listen, thank you for always tuning in. Another amazing educator in our college system. So Dr. Candace, talk to us. Tell us, for those who don't know who you are, let us know who you are, all your amazing credentials. Just for the record, Raven, Candace has way more degrees than I do, and she's working on her doctorate as well.
I can't wait till she comes in because she's Marty's favorite. I'm sorry. We're vying for attention tonight, Raven. I love you still.
Yes.
Oh my God, everybody. Yes. Thank you so much for being so welcoming, for being so amazing. Thank you for having me tonight. I am simply a practitioner of life. I'm an educator. I do have a few degrees under my belt from college. My greatest accolade right now is that I get the opportunity to impart to young minds every single day. Wow. I'm an assistant principal for middle school, and I chose middle school. I like to think that I'm a content expert on all things middle school because they are my kind of crazy. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
They are my kind of crazy. When I was a classroom teacher, I only certified myself in middle school because those were my people. Those are my people.
Wow. So I love it, Candace. So you have been not only a teacher, but now on the administrative side of things as well.
Right.
And in middle school, and you being a Black female in that space, what is that like for you?
Listen,
the challenges.
Mm-hmm. They are real. The challenges are real. Yeah. And they are magnanimous. And they are so real. First of all, I am a second-year assistant principal. I came from the classroom into administration last year. So last year was year 1, and then on Monday will officially begin year 2 for me. But before that, I've done numerous things in my current district and my previous district dealing with leadership, coaching, training, teaching. And first and foremost, being Black, that you are called to be all of the things that you don't get paid to be. You're called to be a teacher, a mother, a sister, a cousin, a friend, a counselor, a parent, a nurse, a mental health practitioner, a psychiatrist, a psychologist, all the things that I'm not even trained or qualified to be for what? For kids who are not mine, right? And I count it an honor and a privilege that I get to stand in and be those. But not only that, being female, you are still marginalized in the 20th, on the precipice of the 23rd century. You don't get paid what your male counterparts get paid. We're not even going to get into male counterparts of color, but you're not held into positions of power, into positions of leadership. And it's not power as in to say it's my way or no way. No, power to really enact change, to craft minds in a different way. And so you still have to be creative, you have to be innovative, you have to be technologically advanced, and then you still got to be 3 steps ahead of everybody else. Not only that, you continuously contend with not being the angry Black woman when you disagree with something that someone else has said. Doesn't matter if they are Black as well. But you've got to, it's like something that sits in the back of our minds. We wrestle with it in our subconsciousness in every conversation, in every PLC, because when your passion begins to come through, then, oh, she's angry. Angry Black woman. No, that's not it. I actually happen to know what it is that I'm talking about. I studied this. I have worked with and through the research. I have something backing me, not just my personal opinion. I have data to show that I could talk my stuff. I'm not angry. I'm passionate about this job that I get to do. And it's really not, for me, it is my purpose. I am passionate about my purpose that I get to do. I get to do this work every day. I do not have to. And so that gets misconstrued a lot of times because they want us to slide in. Oh, no, we should do this and we should present it this way. And then when people combat what we're saying, when we use our nice voice, and then we speak from our inherent power, from our birthright place of position, now we have to cower back to acquiesce to somebody else's ego. And Marty, you know, I tell the people all the time, it's 2 things I don't stroke, men and egos. I do not do well. So
we got a whole other conversation because listen, Sister Tanya, I know that's right. She said yes and amen. See, yes and amen. Yeah, I know that's right. See, we got a whole nother. We need to bring the educators in here and have one time with just bring in all female educators and then bring in all male educators and to really talk about and then bring them both in. Listen, let's bring in our next guest as well. So glad this is his first time. Listen, this brother is so dynamic. He got touch your neighbor and say earned doctorate in here. So we're so glad. Earned. None other. Let's bring him on his first time, but definitely not this brother's last time. None other than Dr. Dennis Perry. Doc.
All right. Hey.
How you feeling?
I'm blessed and highly favored.
I know that's right. Did Candace just set that thing up for you? She's just on fire.
She kicked it off. This is going to be a tough act to follow.
Listen, in this room is never competition, but it's all about how we can complement each other. Definitely.
Honestly, I love. I'm a very passionate person, so I really appreciate the passion, and because we have, as educators, we have an extremely important job in that we are preparing young ladies and young men, young boys and girls, to pursue their college and career dreams so that they can become an asset to all of us in society. So we need to be passionate about that. We need to have our hearts in it, and we need to put 1,000% in it. And especially I'm thinking about Black students in particular, because my job, and by the way, I've been in education for I'm on my 22nd year now. And so I started out, thank you. I can't believe it's been that long already. But I started out started out, teaching high school. I taught world history, U.S. history. I coordinated a program for first-generation students to go into college. It's called AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination.
Yes.
It was a program that nobody wanted to lead, but I built that program from 2 sections, 60 students, to 350 students, 12 sections. Got the program certified for the first time in its history. The county came out and studied my school because I had a disproportionate amount of African-American males. And the thing was, they saw somebody that looked like them that was successful. So there was a draw there, with bringing those young men in there. Absolutely. Yes. It really does, and also we definitely supported young Black women as well. Because I'm a proud girl dad. So I'm definitely all about women empowerment and equality when it comes to that. So, but that job though in particular is what really propelled my passion to go into educational leadership, to think about how could I take the gifts and talents and abilities that God has given me so that I could expand that and have a wider influence. So with more students, more parents, more teachers and whatnot. So while I was teaching and coordinating that program, I went back to school, and I already had a bachelor's and a master's degree, and I went back to school. I got a second master's degree in educational administration, and then I became a high school vice principal, and then I did middle school. Yes. So I have more middle school experience than I have. I say about 8 years of high school experience and about 14 years in the middle school. So, I was a assistant principal for 6, and then principal for 8. And last year I got the doctorate. And now I am an administrative director over a Black Student Achievement Initiative in my current school district, where we are focused on the 16 success indicators for Black student achievement and accomplishing the mission of our Black Student Achievement Plan. But we are focused on high academic achievement, social emotional wellness and support, school engagement and connectedness, attendance, connecting our Black students to extracurricular activities, and also ensuring that the schools have a culturally responsive pedagogy and curriculum that is reflective of what our students look like, what they need, and how they need to be taught. I'm
to be taught. Yes,
that's it. Because we learn differently.
I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm all about this mission that I have inside of me is all about breaking these generational curses and breaking this generational cycle of poverty and lack and ignorance, so that our students will stop becoming permanent members of the underclass, as they become adults.
Yes.
So, I'm after that mission. I'm all after that mission. And
that's
so,
right.
And I think it's great. I wanted to just commend you too, Marty, just for the diversity in our panel, because we have elementary, we got middle school, and we got high school represented here. So I think that's great.
Yes.
So I think, we can all speak, from those different fields about, what to focus on as we're getting our students back to school and getting them in that mindset. And so I'm happy to share, my expertise and my experience about what it takes for our students to be successful and for parents to get what they need to support their students to be successful. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Listen, welcome. Oh my God. See, this is amazing. And see, I didn't even think of it from that perspective. That's why I love great minds with that. So now our final but not least at all guest in here. So glad that this is the first time my daughter, who is an elementary school teacher, has been on the show. And she reminded me, like, Dad, I haven't been on the show. Christian's been on the show. Christian's been on the show twice. I'm like, I'm going to ask you. So I'm so glad to have none other than my firstborn, who just celebrated a birthday. Now, I'm not going to put her age out here. She says it's her 25th birthday again, so we'll go with that, who is an elementary school teacher. We're so glad to have her on here today. None other than Miss Raven Sellers. Raven!
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Okay, we can't hear you. Can't hear you. Are you muted? There you go.
No, you got me. I'm here.
Okay.
Hi,
How are
Dad.
you?
Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
wow. Now I'm hi,
I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that I finally get the chance to be on your show. I'm so happy. I don't understand how my brother with way less credentials got to be on here twice.
Wow.
I'm really
Wait. Your brother just completed his BA, and we're so excited about that. So it
Yeah,
is
he did.
official.
He did. He's there.
He has
He's there.
completed.
Yeah.
So we are so excited. And that's a proud moment that both of my children, they have their BAs, and we're so excited about that because we know that in our families a lot of times having that multiple degree can be definitely different. So I celebrate not only my children, but I celebrate all of you, Dr. Candace. You're pursuing your PhD. Listen, Dr. Perry, and a lot of times I say that on the show because I want people to know that we all have earned degrees. These were not honorary. We some of us still have the student loan bill that we still can testify to what we're still.
Listen. Because a few times I thought about going to buy me one right off the internet, like the other folks. I'm telling you, I thought about it. I thought it's mine. I paid for. Listen, when they bled all over my paper, I thought about it.
Yes. So let's do this. It is back to school time. And there's been a lot of I like to call it transitional time that we've had because we've had kids who really missed out a lot on a lot of their upper elementary school time because of the pandemic, some of their middle school time because of the pandemic, and even their high school time. So we got kids going into these 2 and 3 years later, going into these grades now. And part of what I believe the experience of school is social, not just academic learning, but also social learning and how to adapt as they're growing. And so what do you see? And I'm going to start with Raven in this regard. What are you seeing and you noticing on the elementary school level? And let's kind of go elementary, middle, high school. Some of the challenges that you're seeing as a result of the pandemic was good for some children, but a lot it was not. And so what are you seeing some of the challenges that maybe parents should be more aware of as their kids are starting school? Let's start with you, Raven.
Okay, well, first of all, I just want you guys to know that you are talking to a Tuskegee woman. I am the product of HBCU, so everything that Dr. Perry said, I agree with 100%. I'm all about my people and the children that are my color, and I really want them to succeed. And that's why I'm so passionate about, these little kids, because I feel like, aside from the not wanting them to be a statistic, I just feel like they need more of the love. I see the other students getting love from teachers that look like them. So I try to make sure that I extra love on our Black children because we don't get the same treatment. But I do kinder during the school year, and I do third grade during summer school. Last year for summer school was the hardest. I had third graders for summer school. Some of them couldn't even write because they missed 2 years of in-person school. Yeah. So I had third graders that were writing like they were in first grade. They were writing like kindergartners because they spent so much time on the computer doing virtual learning. They didn't have practice writing. Now I'm seeing where it's just harder for these kinders coming in because a lot of them don't do preschool now because of germs, because of COVID, because life is so much more expensive and we're not getting the balance between what it costs to live and what we're getting paid. So a lot of them are missing that early start preschool to prepare them for kindergarten. So their mental is very hard. Like the first couple weeks, I try to be as easy as possible because the mental breakdowns, it's not normal. It's not like normal, like I miss mommy. It's like socially, I don't know how to talk to the person next to me. I don't know how to interact with someone. It's really weird. And the parents are having issues too. Like I had a parent last school year that started their kid in January in the middle of the school year. She cried at the gate for the first 2 weeks, letting her child go. She couldn't handle that he wasn't going to be at home with her because ever since COVID started in 2020, he's been at home. So it's stuff like that makes you realize how much this pandemic has affected our kids and even the parents when it comes to going to school. Now for us, I'm not ready for the kids to come back because one, before we even had pandemics and stuff, shootings. I'm not prepared.
It has been a constant, yes.
Because it used to be, because it used to be a middle school, high school thing, and I always would be like, I'm not going to do middle school and high school because they be bringing guns to school. But these past two times, it's been elementary. So now I'm like, it's coming down to elementary, and it's scaring me. I think that was like our first, like, ooh, I don't want to be a teacher. But now we have COVID. Now we have monkeypox. When I tell you I'm freaked out about monkeypox, Dad, because you know how I am about even a pimple. So just looking at these pictures of what monkeypox could do, I'm not letting none of my kids touch me. None of them can give me a hug. Y'all air fry me.
And I'm gonna leave you because you're glowing.
Give me a head nod.
Listen, when we first started, I said, "Oh no, Raven over here glowing. Let me fix my light. Over here looking like she pressed off the cover of a magazine. Let me fix my light." I believe it.
Yes.
I honestly, go ahead, Dad. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Raven. You honestly go ahead.
I'm trying to wrap my head around how to still be my normal, authentic self.
Right, that's good.
I now am thinking about school shootings. Like, that is the biggest thing on my mind right now, because today in my classroom, school starts tomorrow for me. So today in my classroom, I was really coming up with a strategy. Like, I was sitting in my room where I'm about to teach kindergartner, kindergartners, they're 5 and 6 year olds, and I am trying to strategize. If I hear a shooting happen on my school, what am I going to do with these kids? Where can I go? And that was really freaking me out because I never had to deal with that with elementary. I always have my friends that do 8th grade. I have a sister that taught 8th grade for 4 years, and I used to always tell her, "Ooh, watch out for them kids. You know, they be shooting in middle school." But now I'm here trying to figure out, what do I do with these kinders, with my 25 kinders, if I hear that there's a shooting happening. So that is the biggest safety thing for me. That and the monkeypox. I am freaked out.
Yeah, I want to come back to that conversation because you have some valid, very, very, very valid points, because our minds had to shift now. What used to just be fire drills and earthquake drills, now we got to do active shooting drills and come up with plans and so forth. So how can you even begin to teach safely or adequately when you got so many other stressors and triggers that's constantly going around you? So thank you for that, and we're going to come back and deal with that a little bit more. Candace, talk to us about what you're seeing on the middle school level in our children these days.
Listen, I second a lot of Raven's sentiments. The biggest thing that I will say, I'm going to first make this precursor. These thoughts and opinions are my own, and they are not indicative of the current district in which I serve. Let me say that.
Little disclaimer.
And now I'm going to say, social media has killed us. Not only as a community of Black people, as a society of Black people, but the culture of African Americans is dying with social media. That is my personal belief. That is what I see in middle school every day. When we pull kids in and they just had an argument, they had a fight, and we have to do that deep dive. We're doing a root analysis on why you left your classroom, you lied to get out of class, went to somebody else's class, knocked on the door and pretended to be sent there from the teacher you just left, and then ran over and punched somebody in the face. Why did you do that? TikTok told us that that's how you handle something. And then when we really get down to it, I'm like, okay, so I'm going to ask the question, are you really about that life? Because I let my kids know in true transparency, I am about that life. I grew up in Oak Cliff. That is my hood. That's not a rap song to me. Right? I got put out of school for several different reasons. Expelled for busting a girl in the head with a shot put. I'm about that life. I know what it's like to have my house tied up because my mother has a set of 10 brothers who was in the gang. And when those red flags went to flying and then you saw the ops come through the other colors, I know what it's like to have bullets crash in front of your face and to get snatched up off the street because you're in a turf war and it don't have anything to do with you. I know what it's like to be trying to push drugs because you want a little extra piece of change, because I watch my mama do other people's jobs and work 2 jobs and then leave her job to go help
That's
my
good.
grandma who was a nanny and to
Right.
go help my
Right.
great grandma who worked in the kitchen at the white church. I'm about that life. I know the code of the streets. Y'all
Right.
don't know what
Right.
you're talking about. And I have that
Right.
transparent conversation with my kids, because even though it
That's
is
good.
2022, the code of the street didn't change. Snitches really got stitches when I grew up. Y'all out here doing, you lying on yourselves. And why is that? Because you saw it on TV, you saw it on social media. That is what we
Social
see in
media.
middle school. Not only was there a
Wow.
regression in
That's
literacy,
good.
all on top of, compounded against what already existed, kids don't read
Wow.
because teachers don't give them stuff that they are interested in reading. So
Interested in
you want
reading.
me
Yep.
to teach Othello to a 7th grader who really only reads at a 1st grade, 2nd grade level, and truly hates reading because teachers put books and text in front of them that they are not
That's good.
interested in. The curriculum is not written for people like us.
Right.
I'm gonna just put
That's
a period
good,
right
Candace.
there. But we are
And
mandated to
2022
teach it.
people. Because
Yeah.
nobody want
That's
to
it.
read what they was reading back in my dad's day when they
Watch
was
it.
scribing on
I'm
the
not
scribing
ancient.
on the
Oh, listen. Daryl,
But
can you
seriously,
drop Raven? But on the serious tip, yeah, you're right. Go ahead.
but no, seriously, all jokes aside, that's what we see, right? So when
Yes.
we, and then you still have people who are like, I use this phrase all the time in a different state, but I'm like, I don't need the God of Abraham. I need the God of Tyler Perry. And I need my kids to understand that they can have the God of Tyler Perry and P. Diddy. Why? Because that is relevant to where we are
To them.
today.
Okay.
You
Okay.
took a drug dealer from the streets to the boardroom. Anything is possible. You can't tell me that there's anything you cannot do, because I'm going to ask you, if not you, then who? If not now, then when? And I'm going to continue to ask you, how can you be better? And where inside of how you can be better are you willing to be better? And that's what we don't address at middle school. Kids can be better.
Wow, that's good.
They are not willing to be better. And there's often a reason that they are not willing to do more, because they are capable. I got kids who can't read worth the dime, but they can articulate clearly that they understand the concept that I just taught them, or that I just watched be taught when I go in to do my observations. So why am I not developing a way for differentiated instruction to truly be differentiated demonstrations of learning? Why am I still trying to make this kid who can't write?
That's good.
Who can't read,
I love it.
but he can hear and he can understand? Why can't he tell me what it is that he got? Why don't I have supports in place for that in middle school? But I just want to keep putting him in the red bubble. As far as I'm concerned, everybody on the podium.
I love it. Thomas, relevancy is key. Yeah, connections are essential, and I love that. That's coming from another educator. In that, relevancy is key. And so, what I'm hearing you say definitely that we have to definitely. I would say it this way, because I was executive director of a charter school. Break the current school system we're learning, equitable learning spaces. Thank you, Thomas. That's exactly right. And make it so that they're comfortable, and we can still teach relevancy and teach them language and English and writing and all these skills, as long as it's relevant to them. Because how dare you teach? I know there were some college courses I slipped all the way through because it was not relevant, but it was a necessity for that time. Thank you. We're coming back. Great. Talk to us, Dennis, because one of your things is making sure that African American students in Southern California have graduate and what that looks like. Talk to us what we're seeing in schools, in high schools particularly, throughout Southern California today.
Well, yeah. So in my most current role, I mean that is what I primarily support, our high schools.
Right.
And there is one middle school I'm supporting at the moment, but I definitely want to talk about the point about having a culturally relevant curriculum and pedagogy. But before I go to that, I want to talk about how these kids have come back after this pandemic. And I'm gonna just tell you, one of the most pressing issues that we are seeing right now is a lot of needs around mental health. Students have come back with more depression and more anxiety than ever before. A lot of teachers, this over this school year, said a lot of these kids came back much, much different after this pandemic. So I think that one of the first
we all came back different.
Yeah. Well, yeah, a number of people, have been impacted and affected in a certain way by this. I mean, and so even my daughter, who's about to start her sophomore year in college, graduated with a 4.6, but even she slipped into and had an episode of depression from the pandemic, where we had to get her counseling and we had to get her help. She lost her desire to want to run track. She was a track star. And she lost her desire. She said, "Daddy, I just don't want to do it anymore." This is when once it was able, she could go back and go to practice. She didn't want to do it anymore. So I'm gonna just say the number one thing that we need to do is we need to check our children's mental health.
That's good.
We need to. We need to, that has to be the priority. We need to ask them, how are they doing? What do they need? And what is going on with their social, emotional, and mental health? So that's first and foremost.
That's good.
Secondly, we are definitely noticing academic deficiencies. We are noticing students that might have been a proficient learner. They have now slipped down to needs intervention, for example, because being behind the screen and not having that real one-on-one interaction with a human being has definitely harmed our kids. So we need to, in addition to checking their mental health, we also need to diagnose and find out where they're at academically, to find out what are their literacy, their numeracy, their critical thinking skills are like, and then providing the appropriate academic supports to remediate those skills so that they can catch up and get up to grade level. Because and that's something that I'm really proud of about what our Black Student Achievement Initiative is focused on. We are focused on providing individualized student support based on literacy and numeracy skills. So we have a very specific instructional program that we're using to find out exactly where students are and then giving them the instructional support that they need in class to get them up to grade level. And also, I'm thinking now I want to go to the culturally relevant curriculum part. So another part of our initiative is that I just did a training over the summer with teachers. We used Dr. Gholdy Muhammad's Cultivating Genius book. And in the Cultivating Genius book is based on these 5 pursuits around skill, joy, criticality, intellectualism, and identity. And so we showed the teachers how to incorporate those things into their lessons and their curriculum, because we said we've got to move beyond this thing about our people just came from slavery and segregation, and we got to show our kids Black excellence. So we're focused on showing them that Black excellence in the curriculum because, I forgot, I think, Candace was saying something about, giving them Othello and giving them this, this stuff, from these people that it's like, who is this? Who do I relate to? And somebody I noticed in the comments wrote relevancy. Relevancy matters. As a matter of fact, I call it the 3 R's. You have to have rigor, you have to have relationships, rigor, and relevancy. I have to have a positive relationship with a student to get them to want to learn from me. Number 2, I need to provide work that is challenging and not boring and is at their level where they can engage in it.
Challenges
them.
It
needs to be relevant. It needs to be relevant. So we need to be focused on all of those things with our kids as they come back to school. We need to, and then speaking of the social media, it has robbed these kids of their attention span.
Yes.
It has definitely morally corrupted them as well, because a lot of parents are not monitoring and watching what their kids are looking at. You need to limit how much time they're spending on these electronic devices, on their phones. You need to know what they're looking at, who they're talking to, because I'm telling you, I think some parents would be appalled if they just knew. And some parents have discovered, that their kids ended up having some mental health issues because things that they were listening to or watching on, their social media. I see something in the comments there.
Yes. I love this. Thomas Hopkins says academic environments need to also catch scholars failing courses prior to their junior year. Recovery credits can also lead to depression, anxiety, and and reduce academic performances. Let's talk about this because Dr. Perry, you talked about the mental health of not only the of the students, but can we also talk about a little bit about the mental health of the teachers as well? Because Candace, I'm going to go with you. I agree, and one of the number one indicators of anxiety in all across the whole gamut of school is social media. And how do we deal with social media? Because it's become such a huge. You saw these possible upcoming lawsuits against Meta and TikTok and all that, because we're talking about how it's driving the anxiety. Let's do Candace and then Raven talk about that. But let's talk about the mental health of both the students and you as educators in this new educational system world that we live in. Go ahead, Candace.
Listen, seriously, Dr. Perry, first of all, it just kind of had clicked back in that you said you have a daughter who is a sophomore in college and you only look 25. I need to know what y'all doing in California. I just wanted to slide that in there. What are y'all doing in California?
Thank you.
I feel like I need to come to California. Texas,
come on, we got you.
I need to come on up to California, okay? and I also wanted to, and I'm so serious, okay? But just to piggyback on one good thing that you said, Dr. Perry, before we shift, when we do the mental health check, we have to believe our kids.
That's good.
We can't say of the acumen that this is nothing, because it's something. And
but that's a part of the education we're doing within our own. Yeah, go ahead, Candace. I'm sorry.
On. Yes. Yeah. And we are doing a damage and disservice to ourselves, because when we ask the question, we don't believe it. And then we wonder why we don't get answers the next time we ask questions. But that's a whole other thing. When we talk about social media and what are you doing?
To me, that has a lot to do with the whole Black culture of wanting our children to struggle how we struggled. Like, not to put you on the spot, Dad, but when I was being spoiled in college, because my godmom would always send me money or send me snacks or send me stuff, my dad would be like, I ain't get stuff like that, you don't need it. But we don't have to pass down the struggle to our kids. If they are saying that something that they're going through right now is bothering them, and it might not have bothered us back in that time, that doesn't mean that it's not real and relevant and important for them right here and right now. Yes. I love you, Dad.
Yes.
Love you.
Yes.
Love you too.
And I'll be really, really brief here. Part of our Black Student Achievement Plan initiative, we have funded at our high need schools, we have an entire Black Student Achievement personnel on the staff. So we have, which is composed of psychiatrics with 2 psychiatric social workers, 2 counselors, school climate advocates, and restorative justice teachers, and their primary role in their work is all around our 16 success indicators for Black student achievement and promoting the success of Black students. And one of the things one of the I want to mention that about our social workers is because we know that our people still have the stigma about getting help for mental health services, still have that stigma about, oh, it's weak-minded if you need to see a therapist. Oh, boy, ain't nothing wrong with you. Girl, ain't nothing. What you mean your stomach hurt before you go to school? Girl, you better get on, so we're still
But that's one of the clear signs. Yeah, one of the clear signs of anxiety when we have these abdominal issues, we have these headaches, we're oversleeping. I think it's definitely looking at a lot of the signs that start at home. That happens, that we can catch, and helping to educate our parents that something else is going on. And let's get to the root of that. Like you're saying, some of the mental health challenges that our students are experiencing. And can we say this too, that also our teachers are experiencing as well?
Yes. And we are definitely experiencing it. And not only the teachers, but your administrators are going through hell too. Excuse my English. But I mean that.
You all right?
We are literally going through hell, because your parents, when we try to tell you what we caught your child doing in middle school, on the phone, in person, in the bathroom, on the football field, in the stairwell, in the classroom, you don't believe us. And then we're like, look at the phone. It was in the child's phone. You don't have permission to go through my child's phone. That's my phone. I pay the bill, ma'am.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Your child
Leave the
broke
phone
the
at home.
rule of no cell phone from 8:15 to 3:45. So therefore, because there was an imminent threat, they threatened to shoot somebody. We got the right to look at the phone. We need the parents to understand that. You can't look at my phone, ma'am. If y'all don't want to give it
By
to
law,
us, I need you
can.
to understand that yes, we're going to involve the police and we're going to confiscate your phone as evidence, and then we're going to escalate this situation. Teachers are afraid of being put on the internet and made fun of, being made a mockery of, being really being bullied by kids. I literally had a staff member who left. She was an excellent English teacher for me, left the profession because kids put her on the internet, made a mock page of her, and were talking about shooting her using the water gun symbol just for her to feel belittled because she corrected them on some negative behavior in class. And they didn't even get a consequence. It was literally correct and redirect. There was no consequence. She didn't call home. She didn't write a referral. She simply did her documentation. Thank you very much, teacher. And went on about her day and gave the kid the opportunity to be better and to correct the behavior and to move forward. And so what we see is we got teachers with that. Teachers don't want to deal with bad kids. And we have, they're called bad kids for a myriad of reasons. They don't want to take the time to figure out why the kid is being called a bad kid, or an uninterested kid, or a distracted kid, or a depressed kid, or an anxiety-driven kid. They don't want to take the time to deal with it. They don't want to have to come to PD. They don't want a lesson plan. They're unmotivated. They would rather be at home. They're scared as well of all the things. And I just want to insert a parenthetical pause here, if you will. As educators, we've been dealing with life and scabies, ringworm, chickenpox, flu, mumps,
monkeypox.
Listen, monkeypox, all the things. We have been dealing with these things. And so now, because we had the COVID pandemic that came about, now it's like all the other things that we've been dealing with. Do y'all know when it gets cold here in Texas, we are so scared about the flu situation happening because it spreads quicker than wildfire. But all of that is missed because, it was COVID. And now it's on a global scale and it's hitting multiple countries. Y'all, the flu hit multiple countries. Why we couldn't have PPE supplies with flu season that's happened every year for as long as I've been alive. But now we all of a sudden, COVID. What is wrong with y'all? We've been dealing with this in education. We've been having to sanitize. We've been dealing with boogers and runny nose. We've been dealing with dirty kids and not calling them dirty, but the kids are generally dirty. They don't take hygiene as germy. There we go. Correct me. Thank you. Germy. Dirty. They nasty. Man, can I get a pencil? No. Wash your hands.
But I'm loving we're having this conversation because it's very imperative, important that parents also see the side of this from educators who love children. They are called. This is their passion. This is what they want to do. And so how can we come on the same page? And y'all, I'm gonna need a part 2 because this part 1, we only got about 8 more minutes, and our time is up, and we barely even scratched the surface. But what can parents do, and how can parents, especially our parents, come alongside administration, come alongside principals, come alongside teachers? What can we do differently as parents to come alongside what you are already doing? Go ahead, Raven. You don't have to raise your hand, baby. I know you're in school.
All right. Yeah. My main thing, I want parents to stop saying that it's allergies. If I see that your kid is snotty nose all day long, coughing on other kids, my thing is, I feel like if I was a parent, I wouldn't want my child to get other kids sick, but these parents do not care. It's almost like they don't want to deal with their kids, and so they rather just keep on bringing them to school when clearly your child is sick? Just because they passed the COVID test in the nurse's office, that doesn't mean they don't have a cold. That don't mean they don't have the flu. That don't mean they, you know what I mean? They're still sick. So my thing with parents is to believe the teacher when the teacher is telling you that your child is showing these symptoms. Please bathe your, some people don't bathe, and I deal with little kids that cannot bathe themselves. I want to stress that baths can keep the germs down. Bathe your children, please. That's it. Bathe your kids.
So really, it's really about how parents can do a better job of believing and supporting. So how do we, Raven, and team at large, how do we build stronger communication blocks, communication structure between parents and teachers, so it's not a us versus them, but it's us plus us? Because I think there's so much animosity and just as if it's a fight where you're trying to do the best. She's like, listen, I'm trying to support you in that. Dr. Dennis, and then Candace, how can we do a better job? Because I hear you definitely, Raven. How can we do a better job of supporting our elementary school teachers, our middle school teachers, our high schools? Go ahead, Dr. D.
I think that the most important thing to do is to partner with the teacher, partner with the school. And the way that you partner with the teacher and you partner with the school is I'm just going to give several ways you can do that. You attend the parent engagement events that the school has to offer, either in person or on Zoom. You join, a lot of teachers like to use Class Dojo, and they like to, and schools are using social media, to connect with parents and things like that. To have that communication feedback. So partnering with the school around whatever initiatives that they have, to keep children safe and to keep them educated and learning, that's going to be my number one thing, because some of our parents still don't understand the importance of partnering with the school. They still don't understand the importance of if that teacher knows who I am and that I'm involved and that I care about who my child is going to get a different level of care and get a different level of relationship as a result of my involvement, because they know that I care. So that's my number one thing.
Yes.
Please partner with the school, partner with the teacher.
That's good.
And take them up on those offers to partner. Don't just, I might get to it later on. No, really take them seriously and partner.
That's good, because a lot of times the teacher will treat that student differently when they know the parent is involved and cares about their education. Dr. Candace, talk to us about that. Talk to us about what how can we partner together?
I love how you're calling this doctorate degree forward, and I love how you're just pulling it, because baby, when I tell you, I'll be ready to throw in the tap. Thank you very much. I receive
don't throw it in
yet. One of the biggest things for me is to understand that we are not against your child when we call you something, right? When we reach out to you about something that has gone on with your child, we are not against you when that happens. But you cannot, and not even but, let me take the but out of there, period. You cannot come into our business and act a fool. We do not come into your business and act a fool, because when school is closed and I come to your job, wherever it may be, and I am belligerent and I'm acting up, you're going to do what? Put me out. You're going to call the people, the security, the police, whoever, and you're going to put me out. And you're going to be ready to press charges and all the things. I need parents to stop thinking that just because we are in school that we have to be your doormat. That mentality is antiquated, and we don't want it anymore. Please don't come into my front office cussing and acting up and raising your voice, and you don't even know all the story. You got one little portion of what we said on the phone. Hey, this is why I'm calling. This is a snippet of what happened. We need you to come up here because there's a situation. And we don't want to talk to you about it over the phone. We need you here in person because your child, it's a safety thing, whatever it may be. Please understand that you can't come talk to us any kind of way and then want to get things to go the way you want it to go. It doesn't work like that, because schools are still a business. Even though you think that we are your daycare for your children, it's a business. And we are people as well. If we get it wrong, give us the opportunity to say that we got it wrong, or that we investigated and we were letting you know. When they come up to the school, and it's not just on the parents, right? I tell all my teachers, one of your requirements is I need a positive contact for everybody on your roster. Why? That way, when we have a not so positive contact, when I make a growth contact for your student, this is not your first time hearing from the school, period.
Perfect. Yes. Daryl, can we put that comment back up by Chandra, what she was just talking about? Thank you, Chandra. So good to see you. Definitely. I love this. The key that she says, parenting is definitely the prescription. And it really is. And how we have this joint parenting, this joint collaboration that parents have with the teachers. Because I love it. When a parent shows a heavy presence in the school and in the inbox, they will treat your child differently versus brushing you off. I could not agree 100% with you. And Raven, talk to us about that. What can we do and how can we partner differently?
I just think parents have to understand that we all became educators because we love children. And my thing is, your child's performance is a reflection of me. So I definitely don't want your child to be in trouble. I don't want them to have low scores. I don't want any of that. So if I'm calling and telling you that, it's really something that's happening. I want your child to look the best they could possibly look because it makes me look better as an educator. It reflects on what I do. So I'm never going to make up something about your child because I want everybody to think that my class is the best class and we the bomb over here in this Raven's class, you know? So I definitely want parents to understand that we are a team. We want you guys to work with us on a team. And just to comment on Class Dojo, I love Class Dojo. I'm so glad that my district put Class Dojo in because I use Class Dojo 24/7 in real time. I could send messages or pictures to people's parents and whatever. And I had two parents last year, two different kids. Their parents never signed in to Class Dojo ever. And they missed out. They missed out on the relationship that they could have had with the class because we put so many pictures of what they're doing throughout the year and they never saw any of it. They never even signed into the link. They never even took the time. So I think that parents have to understand that it's a partnership that has to happen in order for your child to be successful. And we want your child to be successful. I definitely don't want anybody in my class to not do well because then they're going to be thinking Miss Raven ain't doing her job. And I'm doing my job.
I absolutely love it. I can't listen. We are at time. Can you believe it? I cannot thank you guys because we got to have more conversations about this because it's definitely about supporting our children, supporting the parents, and what we can do differently. Because I love it. Each of you have shown the passion that you love these kids. You want to see them do well because it helps to raise and elevate not just the child, the family, and the culture as a whole. So definitely, go right ahead, Candace.
Can y'all please have me out to your campuses so I could do a shadow visit because I would love to come and see what y'all are doing in California. Invite me.
It seems like that. Seems like she's trying to get a trip to Cali just for any reason.
Listen, come on out. Listen, yes. Tanya, thank you so much. Love Tanya Hill. Thank you, Tanya, for that. Candace, how can these people need a part 2 and 3? Jeff, I'm not doing all that, Jeff. Listen. How can the people follow you? Candace, Dennis, and Raven. How can they follow if they want to follow you about learning other tips about education? Candace, let's start with you.
Listen, I have an educational Twitter, and that is it for education. It is Moffitisms, MOFFITTISMS. It is where I keep educational chaos fun. And so you can follow me there. That. My other social media handles have nothing to do with education. I keep those worlds separate.
I love it. Thank you so much. We appreciate the Moffitisms. Did I say it right?
That's it. Moffitisms.
Moffitisms on Twitter. We love it. Raven.
Okay, to piggyback off what she just said, my other social medias have nothing to do with anything. You cannot find me on social media because I'm so focused of an educator. I don't have it. Don't try to search for me. Don't try to find me. My social media is not about education. You know, I think it's good for my mental health, Dad.
Okay.
Martinez Sellers. It's good for my mental health, for me to have something for myself. And so I do not bring the teacher Raven onto the social media, as you know. So do not try to find me. The only way you can find me is on Mental Health Matters with Martinez Sellers.
That's
the
right.
only way that you can find me. God bless.
I can't.
And go Tuskegee. Okay, the Tuskegee University, the illustrious Tuskegee University. I am a Tuskegee woman.
Thank you for sharing all of that with us. Dr. Dennis.
I just sent you a few things in the chat. I don't know if you can see those or not.
Thank you.
But our Black Student Achievement Program has a Facebook, has a Twitter, has an Instagram, and as well as a website. So I strongly encourage you to go there. That you will definitely find information and things that you need about what we're doing to support Black student achievement success. So please let me see. Yeah. So I put our website, I put our Instagram, I put our Facebook, and we do have a Twitter.
Come on, Doc.
Let me get that out there right quick.
He's not playing. See, I did not come to play.
Love that. Thank you so much. And what we're going to do on the description of this particular episode, we'll include all of those. Yes.
Real quick, if anybody's watching, if you would like one of these shirts that say "Teachers Make All Professions Happen," contact Martinez and I will surely get it to you. Yes. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, you can count me in.
Okay. Got you.
Support?
Dad. Shameless plug.
Okay.
Teachers make all professions happen. And Chandra, I want you to be a witness that these are great quality shirts. Yes, Chandra. Thank you for that.
Did you see that? P.S. Tell Raven happy belated birthday. I remember when with Dad Group.
She named me. Yes. She named me when I was being born. So yes. Love you, Chandra.
Thank you, Tanya Hill, for wishing. We'll talk about my cut of those T-shirts and why don't I have teachers help make mental health professions better. So we'll go from there. Listen, thank you so much, Daryl. We're going to go right to how we can get some resources and to the end. So we want you to listen. We don't want to ever end this show without talking about resources. This was an amazing show. We definitely need a part 2, so we'll definitely have them back. But we want to just leave you with a few jewels and gems to help you out. Listen, if you are going through a crisis, you can always text crisis to 741-741 to get help. If you're looking for a therapist, you can go to Psychology Today. You can go to therapyforblackmen.com, goodtherapy.com, mental health marcelconsulting.com, and also the new mental health hotline number across the nation, 988, and that will definitely get you there. And of course, my website, mentalhealthmarty.com. But definitely thank you so much. We're going straight to the end tonight. Right now, Daryl, thank you. In this journey called life, we don't want you to continue to secretly suffer in silence, in the shadow of shame. But we always want you to speak up, speak out, and live. But more importantly, always remember to enjoy your life. We'll see you next Tuesday, same time. God bless and take care.